So, my name is Isaac. 5 months ago, I joined a new company called Lighthouse, and this talk is about how we use code mods to help migrate a large code base. So, what is a code mod? You can think of a code mod as a program that takes a bunch of files, does some transformation, and as output returns those files. So it saves to your disk. One special case is that if this function is identity, so it does nothing, then I can also call that a code mod. So for example, if you have linters that check lint files, I would say that's a code mod. If you have tools that do security analysis, dependency analysis, I would say that's also a code mod. So code mods are everywhere. So this is how we're using code mods at Lighthouse. So we have a lot of sorting rules for ember-template-lint, ESLint, prettier, and so on. And the ones in bold, those are the things that we were able to develop this year, and they're open source. So if you use ember-template-lint, I think it's 792, then you can also sort invocations, meaning that you can alphabetize arguments, attributes, modifiers, and so on. If you have prettier and you need to support HBS tags for rendering tests, or if you have Storybook, you can also format those very nicely. CodeMod also helps you make code uniform. So we have a lot of missing tests. So we would like to quickly find out which code don't have tests, quickly add default tests, and so that we can keep track of our progress. And lastly, CodeMod helps you migrate code to something that's more modern. So if you like to introduce Clint and template tag, adding component signatures, that's a crucial step. So there's a CodeMod for that to help you get started. And something that we like to do quite soon is to adopt the template tags. And of course, you might know that Embroider has a code mod, but I decided I'm going to come up with my own thing. So that's called ember-codemod-add-template-tags. It's available now. What is nice about this code mod is that it does static code analysis, meaning that it does not need to build your projects. And that means that it can run in apps, add-ons, monorepos. You just run it once and it'll fix all the packages for you. And it's light, one third of the size of the Embroider code mod. And I'll say this is quite fast. So let me show you this code mod in action. So here you can see the time that the Embroider code mod took to convert our main application. And it took about 25 seconds. Let's see how this code mod does. This monorepo has 20 packages. 10 of them are apps and add-ons. Oh yeah, let me add the time command so that we can actually check the time. So I found 10 packages that need to be converted. It does give some warnings if they are multiple things that have the same name so that you can kind of take care of it afterwards. So it found entities, meaning that it analyzed all the dependencies that are in your node modules. It's updating the components in all the packages, routes, and then finally tests. And that took about 27 seconds, about the same time as the Embroider code mod. But remember, this has 10 packages instead of just one. So let's check the output. I picked just one component that kind of shows what you might be able to expect. On the left side, this is what the Embroider code mod generated. You can see that there are import statements, for example, from Ember Truth Helper. There's one for each helper. It wouldn't be nice if we can just have one import, knowing that there's a barrel file. For example, this one's also interesting. The Embroider util has an ensure save component. It's kind of a helper, but for some reason, it's reading the app re-export. So here you get the actual source code, the Embroider util, and all the components that you own. So for example, we have this thing called Prism button. It's named just button. So you can kind of tell that it took the name from the last part of the import path, but I think it'd be better to have the full name so that it's easier to search the code base. So you can see that here. The template tags is down here. And so I would say it doesn't really matter because as long as you have prettier and the prettier can format the code, at the end you'll get the same result. But just from the start, without formatting, you can see that this format kind of matches the original file better. So that might be also useful for you. So to conclude, so you can try this code mod out. It's still unstable, so there's going to be a lot of errors that you can expect to happen. But I think it's going to help us get really adopt the template tag faster. and make sure that we can be on the meetups sooner. If you'd like to support the project, here's kind of my pitch of the Ember initiative. So if you like open source projects, make sure to start them, thank the contributors that way. It's free. It doesn't cost us 5,000 euros per month. But if you really want to make a donation, what I would like to suggest is that this year, you might know this certain megalomaniac named Trump. And there's a lot of shitty things happening in the US. And one group in particular is the LGBTQ community. So if you can find ways to support these groups, I think that is the best way to thank me in person. So yeah, thank you so much. Try this out. Give me feedback.
Thank you very much.